Hello, Thomas Smedley here again with T's Doghouse, and I'm in the doghouse with Chelsea. I believe this is our fourth video that we've made with Chelsea. I'm trying to shoot these videos to give people a thorough understanding of what I'm doing here, and maybe help you with some ideas that you can do with your dog. You know, these obstacle courses, I have one set up here in the doghouse that obviously you can see is just made up of odds and ends that have been around and that I've been able to pick up for nothing. You know, some old tires, some old spools, old table that my uncle and my grandfather had, and so it's got some sentimental value, but it hasn't earned a place in the house, nor have I been told by my wife it won't ever earn a place in the house. So it's become one of them, the bottom of a crate, you know, just anything I can find that I can put the dog on and lead the dog around to give us some target objectives while we're teaching the dog these things. So you can do it in a backyard, you know, around trees and with boards on the ground, or just, I mean, anything you can find that the dog can get on will work. So we got her, the last video I made, she was starting to get up on some of the obstacles. She was starting to take treats from my hand, not very good, but she was showing some interest in them. She's one of those dogs that demands high levels of pay for very low amounts of work and very low skill levels. We see some of that in the human world as well. So she tends to like larger handfuls of food. When you go to one piece or two pieces, she has a hard time finding it. She licks around a lot and knocks it on the ground. So she's not very handy with taking her rewards yet. But I have been able to get her to take single rewards. Some, she's starting to appreciate what she's offered. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm going to just go through, try to keep it from being very long, but show you where we're going to move from here. Right now our objective is to get her so that she's hitting the top of every obstacle. I want her on the tall ones, the short ones. When I come to them, I want her thinking that she should be getting on them. That's going to give me more opportunity to give direction and show leadership in the future. So as we go around here, hopefully you can see the obstacles, but I'm doing nothing vocal right now. I'm establishing the main way of communication that I'm establishing right now is the physical. I've got a 1-inch flat collar buckle collar on her, and then this short lead. So nothing major. I'm just using something that I can just kind of pull and tug her around without causing any kind of pain or anything like that. So every obstacle that I'm putting her on, I'm trying to just use that lead to guide her and let her know that that's where I want her. Good. Good. Yep, good. Good girl. We'll try the tall one. Almost. Come on. You see, she wants to keep her head down too long. It's a little hard for him to figure out. Come on. Come on. Good girl. It's a little hard for him to figure out on these spools because it hangs over, but I like it because it's like a pickup bed. And I like him to be able to jump on the bed of a truck. So when I run into little spots like that, where, you know, she tried a couple times and she wasn't successful, then she was discouraged, didn't want to try, I'm going to reward her a lot for this little bit of effort. Then I'm going to move to a smaller one again, build her confidence on something smaller, and then we'll come back and try to get this tall one. Good. Good. Good girl. Good. You can see she's starting to like to look at me and get the praise. So when she gets on these, she's starting to find me quicker with her face. Good. Yeah. Much better. Getting much better at taking that treat. Good. Good. Still building those marker words, saying the word, then giving the treat. Good. Well, back to our language. Right there we're starting to build some vocabulary, some verbal communication so that she knows that there's words that help build confidence, help her know she's doing the right thing. Good, there we go. So you see, just by slowing down a little bit, giving her some small success on this one by getting her front feet up on there, then going to a lower one where she can build her confidence that she can jump up onto something, and then coming back to it. We didn't have to sit and battle it at all. She just built her confidence back up and was willing to come up. After we have a situation where things are a little bit tougher, you know, they've had some failures, if you will, as they've gone to jump up there. You know, when I finally get them up there and you have the success, that's a good time to just relax with them and let them know that was well worth the effort. So the next time they have a desire to try hard. So I was really pleased with that. There's another thing that I'm going to mention right here on the back of the spool. Is she got discouraged and I was lifting on that collar. She sat down. That was her showing me that she wasn't confident about getting up there. But I used the opportunity to give her a release, because that's the next thing that I'm going to teach her, is to sit from pressure on the collar. A lot of times, especially with young puppies, we've built enough of a drive for food in them that when they're targeting that hand and wanting that food, we can lure them into a sit, and we can lure them into laying down just in their desire to get a piece of food. So that's working off of positive pressure, right? A desire to gain something. That's a great way to teach them behaviors. So I'm 100% for it. But when we run into a situation with a dog that doesn't care to take a treat, or isn't going to lure to a sit or lure to a lie down, that doesn't mean that all hope's lost, right? That's not the only way we can teach them. So I'm going to show you what I'll do to get her to sit, and I'm going to build off of what she just did right there. Some people get worried because they think, well, you're lifting on the collar to get them to jump up. How are they going to figure that out? But they're pretty smart, and that's just part of the vocabulary, right? And so they learn the difference between when we're asking them to get up onto something, or we're asking them to sit down, or we're asking them to steer. They know situations, and they feel the difference in the collar, and they figure it out. It's really not an issue at all. The more we do, the more they understand, and that broadens their vocabulary with the lead. It broadens the ability that we have to communicate with them through the lead. So I'm going to have her get down here, and I'm just going to bring her over here in front of me where you can see her in the camera. And I'm just going to hold her here, and I'm just going to apply some upward pressure. Good. And she was really quick, actually, to respond to that. And I think that's from everything I've been doing. She's learned to listen to that collar and try to figure out what's going on. So I'm step her forward again, and I just silently here next to me lift. As soon as that tail hits the ground, I release. And she's obviously figuring out that that's what I want from her. So that's going to be another great benefit. It's also going to cause her to be lighter on the lead when I ask her to turn and do things, because her mind's going to be trying to figure out what is it that he wants me to do. So that's going to help when it comes to doing all the other things that we're going to do with her using the lead communication. So there's our video for today. Hopefully I kept it short and interesting. I'm trying to do this in a way that people can watch and apply this to their dogs at home. Again, just working to get them to look to us for leadership guidance for their needs to be met and their dreams to come true. Thanks for joining me again, and we'll be making another video soon.